of the Native American Indian and People's Coalition for Democratic Growth. And of course, Mr. Bender, before we had our first commercial break, you were talking about some of the problems involved with legislation dealing with the desecration of Native American Indian sites and whatnot. Let's give you an opportunity to continue that conversation, as well as some of the other issues that you believe to be significant in terms of what you are trying to accomplish and how others who are also made up of this People's Coalition and how these groups might be able to assist you and how you might be able to assist them.
Okay. I would like to say in that regard is that what we did after we got involved in terms of fighting to stop the desecration of Native American burial grounds and historical sites, we started to look, well, gosh, we're not the only people that are adversely affected by development. There are communities across Nashville who don't have an issue of Native American burial grounds, but have a basic issue of democracy for their communities. There are, gosh, a dozen communities around Nashville right now who are facing unwanted development coming into their areas. And so what we decided to do was to start working with these other organizations to stop unwanted development, because you always have more strength and more power and more clout in unity. And all of us that are affected, adversely affected, negatively affected by development, we started putting all of our resources together so that we could deal with this in a more effective way.
Hence the name Peoples for Democratic Growth. Is that?
Yeah, that's where the People's Coalition for Democratic Growth came along. We're not opposed to growth, but we believe in growth that is acceptable to people. If a community doesn't want a particular housing development or a particular industrial park within its area, then it shouldn't have that. It should be democratic. People should have what they want, and what they don't want, they shouldn't have.
So it really doesn't matter about the superstores and the mega stores and all of those making decisions, but it really depends upon, from your organization's perspective, on what the people would desire. And
yes, that is correct. And to give you an example, we were involved in the struggle to stop NES power lines from going through the Battlemount area of Nashville. And we were able to reach a compromise on that. We also were closely monitoring what was happening in the Sharondale community with NES wanting to cut down scores of 100-year-old trees. Right now there's a development looming, in fact, right down the road from me in my very own backyard, and we took the issue to City Council just this past Tuesday and received a deferral of those developments, so that these are the kinds of issues that we're working on, to preserve green space, to preserve habitat, to make sure that communities aren't overrun by traffic, noise, and pollution.
And so you do think that your organization is having a tremendous impact with this coalition building, that is, that you really played a significant role in the outcome of some of these projects that you've mentioned so far. You think your organization has done that?
I think, I'll put it, and I don't think I'm being immodest when I put it this way, I think we've changed some history here.
Very good. Now what are some of the other projects that you're thinking about, and what are some of the long-range goals that you perceive as part of this organization that you're dealing with here?
Well, some of the other things, we're still dealing with the issue of Walmart, the Walmart superstore that was put on a Native American gravesite at Charlotte Pike, and we're going to have starting another series of demonstrations there in about a couple of weeks, March the 20th. And Walmart has been a particularly egregious offender in that we found out that Walmart has a staff of specialists that looks into Native American historical sites as being the places where their stores should be built and the like.
So you're saying that they specifically target those areas so that they can build own Native American historical sites?
Yes,
is that the charge?
Yes, that is correct. And this just isn't some wild-eyed charge that we snatched out of the air. This is substantiated by journalists that have been writing about this situation with Walmart for the past several years. And when we first found out about it, it was just shocking. It was almost incredible.
Well, what would be the advantage from your organization's perspective for such a large organization and such a powerful organization like Walmart's to do something like that? I mean, what would be their justification if they are specifically targeting areas whereby they might build on top of these sites. I mean, why would they want to do something like that?
At first, we racked our brains trying to come up with an answer, but the inference is that when these sites are built on by Walmart, then large numbers of artifacts are found, and Native American artifacts are worth thousands upon thousands of dollars. In fact, there's a market for Native American artifacts just going out of the state of Tennessee that they estimate now that runs into the millions of dollars. For example, a small effigy, clay effigy pot would sell for anywhere as much as $60,000. So when Walmart targets these sites, then the artifacts that are not considered as being grave goods, they either go to the developer or they can be sold by the person who leases the land to the developer, which is just another Walmart front. So we think, and there's no other way to put this, but that Walmart is actually making these sites pay for themselves by selling their artifacts off of these sites.
And it really is a lucrative business involved with the moving of these artifacts and the selling and the trading of them. Would that be a correct assessment?
That would be a very precise, very correct statement.
Now, where do these artifacts generally end up? I mean, is there any way that you might be able to trace where they go, or do they all go into private hands? What are some of the things that you found out as a member of this organization?
Some of the things that we found out is that a large percentage of these artifacts go into the homes of private collectors in the United States. And we found out also that there is a multi-million-dollar market for these kinds of artifacts in Europe, particularly in Germany right now.
And so the Europeans are buying American Indian artifacts in record number, you believe?
That is correct, yes. In huge volume that adds up to millions and millions of dollars each year.
So in a real sense, your organization, while people might see just these small blurbs in reference to you picketing here or there, your organization is really dealing with a multi-million-dollar effort that is being made to undermine American Native Indian artifacts and other things, to take them not only out of the ground, but out of the country and sell them for tremendous profits. It's a multi-million-dollar operation, you say?
Yes, that is correct. And the sole motivating factor for doing this is greed on the part of these large corporations, Walmart in particular. And they're making millions of dollars hand over fist, not just only in terms of the products they sell, but in terms of like the artifacts they sell and making these sites pay for themselves.
Very good. Let me have our second commercial break here, Mr. Bender. We'll be back with you following this short commercial break. Segment, we have Mr.